And Katie Tunstall, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Mark.
Very good to see you. I seem to have seen quite a lot of you over the last year, which is very nice. I was just thinking because last year at the Cavern, right, you were the kind of, and this sounds terribly infideg, off-air warm-up, weren't you, really?
I was.
Because, I mean, no offence at all, but barely anybody had heard of you. What a year it's been, hasn't it? Extraordinary.
It was a little support act.
Yeah. Well, and tonight, which was Ampop, who were a band from Iceland. Who were great. What a year it's been, hasn't it, really?
It's been a whirlwind.
It really has, yeah. What made the difference, you think? I mean, you can at this point say, this show. Obviously. I mean, well, you know, what made the difference? I mean, a lot of people said...
I'm getting my Mark Radcliffe T-shirt printed, actually.
I've got one done for you, if you'd be kind enough to wear it when you go on. Yeah.
Don't have to pay for anything anymore.
No, not now. You're the elevated status. You now find something. But what made a lot of people talk to me, said, oh, did you see that girl on Jules Holland?
Yeah.
When you played on your own. That was a turning point, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that happened about the same time that I first met you on the show, and they were definitely the two things. And the funniest thing was that I would kind of have it guess that the majority of watchers and listeners of those of Jules Holland and yourself there's a lot of blokes. And so when I made the album with Steve Osborne, he was saying, Katie, you do understand that we've made a record for women.
Right.
And I was like, what are you talking about? We made a record for women. You know, I really wanted to kind of get away from a woman making music for women and actually just make a record.
Right, yeah.
And it was quite nice to sort of have this massive male reaction. You know, all the fans at first, it was all blokes.
Well, do you think it's interesting you bring that up, because I was thinking when I first saw you and you had the little, I don't know what you call it, the gadget that you kind of build up the tracks live, which I think a lot of people were really impressed by because no one else was doing that.
Yeah.
But I wonder whether you ever felt there was a slightly patronising attitude because there were a lot of blokes who didn't expect girls to be able to work the technology.
Well, thankfully, I'd like to think I nailed it that night. If I'd royally mucked it up, then I think I probably would have done the women of the world a terrible disjustice. But then as it was, I think I kind of flew a bit of a flag there, girl with boy toy.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And then, of course, another of our meetings, it was at the Glastonbury that nearly wasn't, when it was washed out.
Absolutely.
You were the first act on the telly that I was doing, and the gadget didn't work.
Yeah, Gadget lived up to its private name, actually, that day.
But, you know, again, you know, I mean, you just went ahead and did Black Horse without any gadgets, and I think people think, you know, well, what a trooper, you know.
Well, it's important. I think it's, you know, and all the acts that I love, you know, the Flaming Lips, Beck, Tom Waits, they're all Nina Simone, PJ Harvey. They're all artists that you could sit down and you know that you could sit in a room with them and they could sit down and play a piano or play guitar and play you a song.
Yeah.
And that's what's important. So it's not. You know, it's not a big deal if a bit of electronic equipment goes wrong. You just play your song, and you can do it. So
well, the songs are what you're excited for, because of course another highlight must have been doing Cambridge Folk Festival, because they, you know,
magic.
That's a kind of acceptance as a songwriter, isn't it, to get to be invited to play at Cambridge.
There's all these kind of different levels of acceptance.
Yeah.
And, we did the Bob Dylan tribute night the other night as well in London, and that was sort of a similar sort of crowd as Cambridge, where it's very discerning, loyal music fans, and you definitely feel like you've kind of got to live up to something at these kind of things. And Cambridge was just great. I was, you know, very flattered to be asked to do that.
No, it's a lovely event.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it there. And then there was the Mercury, and we talked to you there. And everything.
We met out in Texas as well.
And in Texas, yeah. In fact, barely a week has gone by. So I'm sorry about that. I'll try and stay out of your way next year. But have you had a chance to write any new songs during all this? Because you've been busy, haven't you?
No, it was not concerning me, but it crossed my mind. You know, how am I going to keep writing? Because my writing history has involved having as much time and space, more time and space than I wanted, actually.
Yeah.
You know, just having so much time on my hands. So I did wonder whether this kind of flip, you know, the kind of coin flipping in life of suddenly having no time and no space, how that was going to affect it. And I've been really pleasantly surprised that actually now I've just got these windows that I can grab, and sometimes it's sound check or it's on the bus or I've got an hour between doing an interview and doing a show, and I've got a room and I'll just grab my guitar. And actually what I found is, because it's kind of quite these desperate snatches of time, that it's much more focused.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time I think I'm actually coming out with better quality stuff than I did when I was kind of noodling around for hours, you know.
Right, yeah, good.
So yeah, it's been great, and it's definitely writing in a different way, but I think I'd be disappointed if I always wrote the same way. You know, I'd want it to change.
And is there any planned vaguely timescale for a new record, or do you not know?
Yeah, we're looking at kind of springtime next year. So hopefully be in the studio by April making the next record, which I can't wait for.
Great. Okay. Well, look, lovely to see you again.
Yeah.
Now, so I'll let you go and get ready.
Yeah, I've got to go. And I've had a bit of a bad hair day today, Mark. I'm glad it's on the radio, quite frankly.
Bad hair day. I don't worry about bad hair life for me. So that's a small fry. But I'll come and introduce you live on stage.
Thank you, Mark.
But I'm sure you'll be able to pick the atmosphere up from that. Katie Tunstall, thank you very much, and who will be on live after the 11 o'clock news.